losing or laugh.
I know, and everybody knows how big this game is.
My mama told me that I was to win.
Describe the rivalry to somebody that doesn't know about the rivalry.
Intense.
Welcome to Week 10. It is Statement Saturday, and the eyes of the college football world are on Baton Rouge. But the eye of the Tiger is on Alabama as the clash of the SEC West Titans finds its way to Tiger Stadium. Number 1 Alabama rolls in town. Third-ranked LSU is already ready, and it is Friday afternoon on the campus of LSU.
They're always ready here.
Listen, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Let me tell you, these Tigers,
stay ready.
Stay ready. Maria Taylor, David Pollock, and Desmond Howard.
Yes.
Hey guys, how you doing back there? Pretty good.
All right.
We had them going a little bit. David was serenading them with a little Sweet Home Alabama before the show actually started. I think they enjoyed that.
They love
right?
that
Like a little
song.
sing-along. That was pretty cool.
Sweet Home Alabama.
Okay, so that's not going to work. But either way, they're going to have Alabama rolling in here trying to sing a song in Tiger Stadium. It's going to be the game probably of the entire season. We've been talking about it since the year started, and now all of our eyes are on it. What's going to determine this game? And maybe let's talk about first, how big is it really? How big is LSU Alabama in Week 10?
Well, it's as big as the final score. If it's a blowout, then it's going to be a dud. You know what I mean? If it's tight, then it's going to be the game of the century. That's about to me, the extent of it. You like that?
One clap. He got one.
You got 1 versus 3. 1 versus 3. Well, Week 10 is probably as big as it gets Week 10 right now.
It's Week 10?
Week 10. Isn't it crazy?
Double digits.
That's crazy to hear.
We're in November already, right? It's November.
I
think so.
It's huge because you got the SEC West is about to be settled, you know, pretty much. And, I mean, obviously, A&M says they might have something to say about that because they'll play LSU down the road. But it's just it's a huge clash. You start looking at draft picks down the road with Todd McShay and those guys. You got 8 first-rounders in this game. So you want to talk about, like, the game of the year with the most talent on the field?
So you're saying there'll be a few NFL scouts in attendance? Just a few in attendance.
They might be out here already just getting ready for the game. You might start scouting right now.
They're tailgating right now.
I know.
I think this is one of those games when we talk about expanding the playoff. Like, to me, this is one of the playoff games. I mean, for LSU, you have to win to stay or give yourself an opportunity to play in the playoff.
Oh, you're 100% right.
When it comes down to the X's and O's, can you pick one thing for LSU that could determine the game and have it fall in their favor?
Oh, yeah. If you are DBU, show me this week.
Okay.
I mean, if you're going to claim to have the best defensive backfield and they have one of the best in the country, get up in the face of these wide receivers, mess up the timing, make Tua look somewhat mortal because so far this season, he's looked superhuman. He's looked excellent. So the Tigers defense, obviously with a loud crowd behind him, mess up that Alabama offense, and I think the whole world will be happy about that.
Yeah, I think that Joe Burrow is going to have to make some throws. You're going to have to show that you got a passing game because I know Alabama's going to come up in here. They're going to stack the box. They're going to try to stop the run. I mean, that's what they've been doing for years coming up against LSU, because LSU's always got like a really strong running game. They've had like Darius Guice, Leonard Fournette, these guys who are really fantastic running backs, but then they come up against Alabama and they come short because they'll stack the box. They say, hey, okay, let's see if your quarterback can beat us. So Joe Burrow is going to have to really come out and play with like his hair is on fire, throwing the ball tomorrow night.
All right, so you think it comes down to that quarterback position for LSU.
Without a doubt.
It's also going to be a battle of the minds in college football. Coach O going against Nick Saban. And just so y'all know, the trash talk's already started, and it started in Tuscaloosa. Take a listen.
Y'all win the toss. Which way you think you might go on that deal, Coach?
Well, to be honest with you, you know, I hope we elect to kick ass is what I hope we do, but
What was the question? What did they ask Nick, though?
The question was, if you win the toss, what would you elect to do? Would you elect to kick or kick off? And he said, I'd like to kick some ass, is what he said.
Well,
that's what he said he's going to do to y'all. That's what he said he's going to do to y'all. Just saying.
So basically what Nick Saban is doing is making a statement, and all of Saturday is going to be about making a statement. Look at all those notable games that we're going to watch. Isn't it great?
No, because I wish we could spread them out.
No,
like in the
we
next
can't spread
couple
them out.
weeks, it'd be
You need
awesome.
to turn on your TV, have on your ESPN app, and get ready before. Notre Dame, Northwestern, that could determine a playoff. You know, we already saw Texas go down. They're taking on West Virginia. I mean, there's a lot of big games in the slate. If we had to exclude LSU and Alabama, what would you say is the biggest game that has the highest implication in Week 10?
Well, I don't know if it's the biggest game with the highest implications, but I think that Georgia-Kentucky for the SEC East is huge. And Georgia's coming off a big win against Florida, going up to Lexington. I'm just curious of their mindset. Like, do they really respect Kentucky enough to go up there and really handle their business? They can't afford, in my opinion, to start off slow, because Kentucky's a team that they're trying to make a name for themselves. Obviously, early in the season, they beat Florida, and you know, they play with a chip on their shoulders too. So this can be a huge game for Kentucky if they really want to be respected in college football, and especially in the SEC.
And Georgia's coming off their best game, especially offensively. Jake Fromm he looked great. Looked like he did last year at times down the stretch. But I tell you what, I really want to see Michigan, Penn State.
Yeah,
and
it's gonna be a good one.
I don't think the schedule's set up great for Penn State, because they've had a bunch of tests in a row, and Michigan had a bye before. But everybody's starting to buy into Michigan. And the last couple of years, a lot of people have bought into it. They got some opportunities now to prove it. They got some opportunities to say, hey, we got this. Shea Patterson offensively continue to have that heartbeat, continue to run the football, because we know what they're going to do defensively. They always bring that. So I think they got a great opportunity. Michigan to keep saying, hey, one-loss teams, we're Michigan, and we want to stay at the front of the line.
Do you think this is the biggest test that Michigan's faced since opening up against Notre Dame this season?
I do, yes. Because just because, go back to last year. I mean, Michigan had a filthy defense. Penn State did what they wanted to do. That running quarterback really throws in an element of, you can be more aggressive, but that quarterback pulls it and can run it. Now, Tracy McSorley got dinged last week, but I think offensively they can have a lot of success. Penn State's defense isn't something that really puts a lot of fear in you. But
it's really hard to take you seriously when Mike the Tiger is doing whatever he's doing behind you.
What is that?
Get it.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Forget analysis. Let's just dance.
Okay, so let's
do Fortnite dances.
Take it back to Michigan and Shea Patterson. He's only thrown 3 picks so far this season, Des. And as you mentioned, just his legs being able to extend plays, how it's changed Michigan's offense. Are you a believer in the Wolverines' offense?
Well, I tell you what, you asked about the Penn State challenge, and I think that it's going to be a challenge, but I don't think it's the greatest challenge. You look at Penn State. I don't know what we got with Penn State right now. I really don't know what we have with this team. I mean, you know, this is a team that lost to Ohio State in the game that they should have won at home, and then they went on the road and lost to a beat-up Michigan State team, and they almost lost last week to Iowa. They ended up pulling off that game. So I'm still not sure what we have with Penn State, if this is going to be Michigan's biggest test so far. I thought Wisconsin was a big test. Michigan State is always a tough game up in East Lansing.
Notre Dame, obviously, the start of the season was a pretty
that's
big
a different ball game. That's
it's a different Michigan
that's a different team. It's a completely different team. We was talking about not there, you know, playing better. So as they go down the stretch, and now we're starting to believe in Michigan. Is this their biggest test? I don't know if I can say that, because I don't know what we got with Penn State, to be honest with you.
All right, well, either way, every team that's playing in Week 10 is battling for a spot in the college football playoff, and we finally had a rankings reveal for the first time on Tuesday, which is great. Let's take a look at the college football playoff rankings brought to you by Allstate.
We missed you, Des.
Des bowed out. It's Alabama's 22nd
I was
week
working that night.
ranked in the college football top 4. That's the most of any team in the playoffs since it started in 2014. Clemson, it was the 19th time the school has been ranked within the college football playoff top 4, second most of any team. What did Dabo say? It's ROY.
ROY.
Alabama and the rest of y'all.
Alabama and the rest of y'all. He said there's the Alabama bus and then the ROY buses for everybody else. The rest of y'all.
Clemson is on the bus.
Wow.
All right.
No, he's planting those seeds with his kids like, everybody loves Alabama. It's just Alabama.
Well, we're going to take it off the field and get a little serious when we come back. Coming up, it's been a tumultuous week for Maryland football, but DJ Durkin is out. Where does the program go from here? Gino will join us to discuss. And Statement Saturday, we've talked about it a little bit, but the huge games on ESPN, they start at 3:45. Penn State taking on Michigan at the Big House. And then at 7:15, Notre Dame putting their undefeated season on the line against Northwestern. You can watch it all on ESPN or stream it live on the ESPN.
I'm a number 3 LSU from Death Valley.
Then on Sunday, NFL Countdown is hitting the road live from outside Manning's Restaurant in New Orleans at 10 a.m. Eastern to set the table for a showdown between 2 of the best offenses in the NFL as Drew Brees and the Saints host the undefeated Rams.
Be with us on ESPN live in Louisiana all weekend long as we've got you covered from Baton Rouge to the Big Easy with College Game Day and Sunday NFL Countdown.
College Football Live here from Baton Rouge, getting you set for Alabama to roll in and take on the LSU Tigers. But the big off-the-field headlines were coming out of Maryland. It's been quite the tumultuous week. On Tuesday, the Board of Regents announced their recommendation to retain their head coach, DJ Durkin. And then after much public criticism, President Wallace Lowe acted against the board and fired head coach DJ Durkin. So let's recap the timeline of events over the last few months. First, DJ Durkin was placed on administrative leave following the death of Jordan McNair in June after he suffered a heat stroke in a team workout. Though an independent investigation found the school to be culpable in McNair's death, the Board of Regents recommended the school reinstate Durkin yesterday, and that is until Wednesday when the school came to the decision to fire him. So in 24 hours, he went from being reinstated to being fired. And to discuss the situation more, we bring in Gino, and I kind of want to know what you think we've learned throughout this entire investigation to the decision that has come out about Coach Durkin.
This is going to be something that crisis management classes study for years on how not to conduct an investigation, how not to lead to a decision that makes no sense, to be tone deaf every step of the way. The chairman of the Board of Regents resigned. The rest of the Board of Regents should join him. Yeah. They kneecapped the university's reputation, the integrity of that university, and they were completely tone deaf to think that DJ Durkin could go back there and act as if nothing happened. Mm-hmm. So to me, what was lost earlier in the week, Jordan McNair, was found. Well, finally, we showed some respect to the death of that young man and acknowledged that a terrible wrong had a little bit been righted.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things you just said really annoys me. Not what you said, but they didn't leap to this conclusion. They took months and months and months, and you can't be that dumb. Like, you can't. Yeah. How can you take that long to figure? You think that coach could ever come back under those circumstances and ever go out and recruit a young man? Right. Hey, I'm here to recruit Desmond and Demir. Right. A player.
You got to sit in someone's living room.
The player that died on my watch. It was not my fault. It was the trainer's fault. Right. What? I mean, I don't understand how you could possibly take that long and then make that decision. Everything about it was bad, and it's going to end up like it should have ended up, but I just don't understand why it took this long.
It's just unfortunate that it took a public outcry and the governor saying something and some of the players walking out of the locker room. Yes.
It seemed like to me that the Board of Regents just wanted to wait long enough for this to kind of die down and people to accept what they always wanted from day one. They, for some odd reason, no disrespect to DJ Durkin, but he's not the head coach that you want to retain after a student athlete dies. Yeah. He's not that guy. He should have been made that decision. And then, but it makes him look like a group of snakes when you sit there and take all that time to make that decision. And then the only reason it's reversed is because there was a public outcry. Mm-hmm. I mean, so it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And I can't believe that here we are in 2018 and we're dealing with a Board of Regents, and everyone wants to talk about how everything is about protection for the student athlete. You had one die on your watch, and you didn't have the testicular fortitude to fire the damn coach. And the only reason you ultimately did it is because there was a public outcry. I got nothing to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly, you would hope that it's one step closer to taking responsibility for the loss of someone's son. And at the end of the day, this is all about Jordan McNair. And you don't think that his family, the thought about his family was the primary source.
You brought a coach back to a team that when he had a meeting, half the team walked out the meeting.
Right. And that's why there was change, by the way.
Exactly.
And that's what I love about this situation.
How do you not think about this as a Board of Regents? So what are you thinking for all these months to come up to this decision?
They didn't know how it would be handled in the locker room, and the kids took care of it. That's pretty daggum awesome. Now, like, the kids are like,
the kids,
who's
the
this
governor?
Guy? Who's this guy?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
But when the kids step up and say, I'm not going to play for this, there's nothing you can do. It's done. He's out the. You have to find a new coach. And kudos to them for stepping up and saying, I'm not playing for this guy. I'm out of here.
It's a reality check that it's about the student athlete.
Well, if you know, the Board of Regents chairman said DJ Durkin is a good man and a good coach, and he might be all of those things. Yeah. But I don't know, as DJ Durkin, how you can somehow process and justify your return.
Right.
Regardless of what the regents say, regardless of what the decision is, how could you as man, having that happen on your watch with a strength and conditioning coach that was Velcroed to your philosophy, how can you come back to that team and expect things to be the same? There's no way.
Exactly.
Well, that leaves the question now for Maryland. Where do we go from here? I mean, what is the next answer? Who is the head coach that we can bring in that's going to have to do a lot of healing at the end of the day? Who is the type of guy that they should be looking at?
Well, if you are someone who they approach, you have to ask yourself a few questions. One, I might not have the same president that's there right now. Lowe has announced that he's leaving.
Correct.
You don't know if the athletic director truly is going to survive this.
Correct.
When you come in as a new coach, those are huge things for you. So you have to go in with those 2 question marks, and then you have to decide, do I want to try to fix this? It's going to take someone, and I'm just throwing a name out there. I'm not saying he would be the guy who would end up there, but someone like Dino Babers at Syracuse with that sort of, you know, persona, Niumatalolo at Navy, you know, those sort of guys who have so much credibility, they can come into a situation that is a total swamp mess right now, and they can instantly provide the credibility and integrity that that program needs right now.
Well, Gino, we certainly thank you for joining us to discuss a very, very important topic right now in college football. When we come back on College Football Live, we will get to you more talk on Alabama taking on LSU. It's 1 versus 3. And in order to do that, we're bringing in an LSU great. How about Lolo Jones is standing by? She'll be the best athlete up here on this set.
Talk about upgrading. Talk about upgrading from Gino. Sorry, Gino. You got to go.
Gino.
Third-ranked LSU tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
And who will be our celebrity guest picker on Saturday? We don't know, but we know that Wheels Up will be the plane that's dropping them off here in Baton Rouge. Let's take a look at our celebrity guest picker standings. Guys, right now, Drew Bledsoe is in the lead.
Ain't nobody catching Drew.
Nobody's catching Drew.
Nobody's getting Drew.
So congratulations on that. I don't know.
Does he get a trophy or what?
No. You can get him like a pie in the face or something. All right, let's take a look at our blimp-worthy player. It's LSU quarterback Joe Burrow. You guys might like this. He started his career at Ohio State, appearing in 10 games in 2 seasons as JT Barrett's backup. But then he transferred to LSU. Look at that, dancing, get him hyped. Let's go Tigers.
Is that dancing?
I think that's what it was. He's led LSU to a 7-1 start.
Look at that.
That is your blimp-worthy player, brought to you by Goodyear.
Oh, look at that.
Another LSU great.
That's a face of intensity right there.
Standing here,
Damn, I wish I had abs like that just for one day.
Okay,
what's with the
11-time All-American at LSU, but has also competed in the Winter Olympics.
Are you serious?
Brakeman for
Brakeman
for the USA bobsled team.
But look, that helmet though, I feel like if we just put an LSU helmet, maybe I can like mesh in with the team a little bit.
Hey, I used to run track too. Maybe I can get in the bobsled team.
Yeah.
All right, so Lolo, you went to school here. You are an LSU Tiger through and through. Help us understand what this tailgate scene, this fan base is like for those that just don't understand.
Yeah, especially
you really
those
can't sum it up.
for the game. Yeah, where should we tailgate?
You can't really like explain it to people, and then until they come, and it's just like they think they understand the tailgate experience, but then when they come here and they're seeing like if we're playing Arkansas, we're roasting pigs. You know, if we're playing Florida, I see like it's crazy. It's gumbo. It's crawfish.
Like you were just going through all the different tailgates.
Are you serious?
I gained about 5 pounds that one day.
I'm about to say, you can't be training to eat that stuff, girl.
I train. The good news is all this, I run it, and then I go run the Tiger Stadium. So it's a good balance for me. So.
David said he'll meet you there next time you do that.
Won't.
He said he'll run.
I'm in.
Oh, get this on film.
Wait, what do you roast for Alabama weeks then?
I don't know. I mean, obviously we can't do an
Okay,
what do you roast?
Figure it out.
What do you roast?
David, they roast David.
Roast me?
David, do not. Something else really cool
They're
that
going to get
Lola
roasted,
does.
by the way.
You're not making it out of here alive. Like, where's the security?
What do we have?
Okay, look at this. Is this called the pants challenge?
Yes, the pants
jump challenge. Lola trying to jump into a pair of pants. She's so athletic, it only
Look at
takes
the
you how many
technique.
tries?
Look at the
How many
technique.
tries?
Oh, you almost there. Look at
I'm athletic, but I'm not an Olympic medalist. I'm an Olympian, but not a medalist, and that's the difference right there.
She got it, though. You are a world champion.
Look at the toes pointed down and everything.
This got us thinking, though. Someone on this set should probably try the challenge and say it ain't going to be me or Bez.
I know where this is going.
So, Lola, hold the pants. Lola Puccino.
Wait,
Wait, which one? Which one do you want? Which one? You want cheese? Right here.
there you go.
Okay, ready?
Take the shoes off. Take the shoes off. Take the shoes off.
How does this work in jeans, by the way?
Take the shoes off.
Do you
Yeah, you can take the shoes off.
Now listen,
Okay,
do you
let's go.
really trust Lolo to hold that side?
David.
There's no way she's going to be able to hold my big butt.
on,
but
come
okay.
on, got it.
Right?
Get ready, guys.
So whose fault is that?
One more. Here we go.
Okay.
Hold the pants
higher.
Dennis, get in there.
Hold
Okay.
the pants tight.
How high are you going to get him? Good Lord.
Hold the pants tight, Lolo.
Good job. You can keep the pants.
Not when you landed it. You hit it like Simone Simone.
Good job.
Look at the hands, folks, right there.
Oh, my gosh. Get up here.
That makes you...
All right, the LSU